Hey guys, this is Kristen at Cooking in the County, and today we are making a cinnamon roll cheesecake. Oh my goodness. I had one of my subscribers write to me and ask me to try out this recipe, which was very exciting to me because I am always up for a challenge. I can't wait to make this cheesecake. It has a lot of steps and a lot of ingredients, but I think it's going to be very much worth all the work. Especially if you love cheesecake, especially if you love cinnamon rolls, mix them together, they're gonna be amazing. So this has 4 different parts to it. So I'm gonna do my video a little differently. I'm just gonna do kind of a tutorial for the crust and the, it's kind of like a filling, a crumble. So I'm gonna do a tutorial at the beginning of just the crust and the crumble that goes in it, but we're gonna do the filling together. We're gonna bake it. It really needs to sit overnight, so it'll be a 2-day thingy. But I think you're gonna really love it. So here's a list of ingredients you're gonna need to make this cinnamon roll cheesecake.
For the crust, you're gonna need 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 5 tablespoons of melted butter. For the crumble, you need 1 cup of brown sugar packed, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 6 tablespoons of flour, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter. For the filling, you'll need 4 8-ounces of softened cream cheese, 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 5 eggs at room temperature, and 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. Finally, for the cream cheese topping, you'll need 1 tablespoon of butter softened, 1 ounce of cream cheese softened, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, and 1 1/2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. Okay, let's get started with the crust. The first thing we're going to do is use 1 package of graham crackers to 3 sheets of graham cracker. And put it in a little food processor and grind it up till it's really fine. Now, if you don't want to grind up graham crackers, just get graham cracker crumbs in a box, and that's 2 cups of graham crackers. So now I'm adding 4 tablespoons of brown sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon. And then I'm going to melt 5 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to mix this all together. Now you need to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. You need to spray your springform pan with nonstick spray. And now we're going to press the crust down, really pack it down the best that you can. I'll be using a glass here in a few minutes because that kind of really helps pack it down. Bring it up along the sides as well. Okay, once that's done, we're going to bake that for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. Okay, we're now on to the crumble, and I've melted 6 tablespoons of butter in the microwave, and now we're going to add 6 tablespoons of flour. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of cinnamon. And 1 cup of packed brown sugar. Just mix it a little and add your melted butter. And we're just gonna make this a crumble. Just kind of mix it together and we're gonna set that off to the side till we're ready for it.
Okay, now you have the ingredients you need. You've seen how to make the crust and you've seen how to make the crumble. Now it's time to make the filling. So we need 4 8-ounce softened room temperature cream cheese. So we're going to put this in our mixer. Now some of you have me on Facebook. Some of you don't. But I kind of run, I guess, a bakery. I do a lot of cakes, cupcakes, whoopie pies for people. And I had an order for 6 dozen whoopie pies. So I was very kind of hectic, a little stressed out in the kitchen, and I was whipping up my peanut butter buttercream in my mixer, and I turned my back to it and I had cranked it right up, and this entire thing fell on my floor. Peanut butter frosting went everywhere. It was a mess. My dogs were in heaven. I was trying to get them not to eat it because I was afraid they're gonna get sick, too much sugar. Thankfully, my mixer still works. It's a little clunky. It's got some bruises and bangs on it. I guess, you know, that's what life does. Sometimes it gives us bumps and bruises. But we're keep on going. So my mixer's gonna keep on going. So this needs to mix until there's no more lumps. So I'm gonna give it a couple minutes and I'm gonna be watching my mixer to make sure it does not mix itself onto the floor. Okay, so we'll come right back once this is light, fluffy, no more bumps. Okay, leave it light and fluffy. I scrape down the sides, let it go again. We are going to add 1 cup of sugar this. This is a half a cup, so I'm going to add 2 of these. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Just kind of gradually add it in. 1 cup of sugar. Three tablespoons of flour. We're going to let this go again for about a minute, okay? Okay, turn it down a little bit. We're going to add 2 capfuls of vanilla. 1, 2. We're going to now add each egg slowly, 1 at a time. Let it get completely incorporated before you add the next one. Now these eggs need to be room temperature. I believe all your ingredients for this cheesecake should be at room temperature. I even let my heavy cream sit out while I was doing this just for it to get the chill off of it. Okay, there's all our eggs. And now we are going to mix this for 5 minutes on about this speed, about medium high. Okay, so I'll bring it back after 5 minutes. Okay, our 5 minutes is up. The last ingredient we're going to add is 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And like I said, I've had this sitting out just so it's not cold, cold, cold. Okay, and now this is gonna mix for 2 more minutes. Okay, our filling is finally done. So you saw that I had baked my crust. I think it's a little overbaked. You can see how dark it is in the middle, but I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference once we put this in there. Now my oven has given me a hard time. it's either baking too hot or baking too low. So I'm having a hard time with my baking things. My husband put a new sensor in, so I'm hoping that works. And I have a temperature gauge inside my oven, so I'm hoping that I can mess with the temperatures enough that this cheesecake will come out right. Okay, so this is where the crumble comes in. Scrape this down just a little bit. Make sure we get everything in there. We're gonna pour 1/3 of this batter in here. I mean, just eyeball it. It's no big deal here. Okay, so 1/3 of our filling. Now this is our crumble that we made earlier, and I'm glad that it's set out for a little bit because the butter was able to harden, so we can actually make it like a crumble, okay? So we're gonna use 1/3 of this, and we're just gonna put it in here, like crumble it with your fingers. Just put it all around. More. I'm going to put some more batter on top. Do it to cover up all of those little things here. Okay. Another half. It's a little bit of a time-consuming cheesecake, but I think it is going to be worth it. Okay, the last bit of your batter on top. And the last bit of your crumble goes on top. And there's still one more step after this is all baked to put on top, but we'll get to that once we get it all cooled. Okay, now I'm gonna get the instructions just to make sure I tell you correctly. This is gonna bake for 15 minutes at 350 degrees. After the 15 minutes, you're gonna turn your oven down to 200. Pray that my oven will cool down good enough to 200, and bake it for another hour and 30 minutes, okay? Once the hour and 30 minutes are up, you're gonna shut your oven off for 30 minutes. Don't open the door. Just let the cheesecake stay in there, cool down with the oven. After that, you're gonna crack the door, let it sit for another 5 minutes. Let's pray this works, but I feel like this is going to be amazing, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is 350 for 15 minutes. Okay, it's been an hour and a half. I have to put my oven to 180 to actually get, you can't tell, but the temperature inside is 200. So we're now shutting it off. And we're gonna let it sit for 30 minutes without opening the door. Okay, it has been a half an hour. So now we're just gonna crack the door. The oven runs hot. It's still about 200. Cheesecake looks yummy. So we're gonna do this for 5 minutes. Okay, our cheesecake is done. Now it's going to be a little jiggly, okay? Don't worry about it. Once it cools, it's all gonna settle down. Don't overbake your cheesecake, okay? I feel like this is gonna be okay, this one. So I'm gonna let this cool down here on the counter. Then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator overnight. Then we're gonna cut into it tomorrow. I think it's going to be amazing. And then we're gonna put another little something on the top, okay? So here's this. Let's let it cool. Okay, our cheesecake is all cooled. I did put it in the refrigerator. It's been about 4 hours, so I feel like it's okay. I know she said to do it overnight, and you certainly can do that, but I really wanted to finish it to show you guys. So this is the cheesecake. So before we take it out, we got one more step to do, and that is to make the topping, kind of like a frosting that you're gonna put on top. So we need 1 ounce of softened cream cheese and 1 tablespoon of softened butter. Put that in our mixer. Get that all nice and fluffy. Okay, to that we are going to add 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna do it slow because it's gonna make a mess as usual. And then to that, you need 1.5 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And that should help bring it all together. I'm just gonna whip that till it's light and fluffy. Oh, so we're going to get a piping bag. Easiest way to fill a piping bag is to get a glass, set your bag over your glass, like that. Okay, scrape all the sides. And we're just going to fill our piping bag. Bag is all filled. Twist the top. Now we're going to cut the bottom just a little, not too big, so we can decorate this. So we're just going to go back and forth. Might as well use it all. Okay, now we're gonna open it up. Hopefully everything works out for us here. Good to me. Okay. I'm going to cut it. Before I cut it, I need a picture. Okay, we're gonna cut it and see how well it turned out. I wanted to also tell you guys that I signed up for a contest called The Greatest Baker. It's hosted by a girl that used to be on the British baking show. It's one of my favorites, so I thought I'd sign up. It's really kind of a cool thing. You have to get votes by all of your friends, and you have to have a Facebook account to be able to vote for me. But if you guys had a few minutes, it goes to, I think, May 20th. You have to vote daily. If you feel like it, I'm gonna put the link below. Maybe you guys would consider voting for me for the Greatest Baker. I would appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna cut this. Feels good. Excited to see what it looks like. Not great there, maybe. No. Looks good. Okay, we need to try it. Looks like, I thought it was underdone, but it's not. It's the crumble. That tastes exactly like a cinnamon roll. Exactly. It probably could be colder. I probably should have just left it into the fridge all night. That's amazing. Okay, one more. That is really good, but it is still a little tiny bit warm. Obviously, I'm going to put the rest of it in the fridge overnight, but I really wanted to try it, and that is really yummy and tastes exactly like a cinnamon roll, but cheesecake as well. It's nice and big. You guys need to try it. Okay, guys, there it is. Cinnamon roll cheesecake. Thank you to Ken for giving me this recipe. He is local, so he's going to get a piece of this cheesecake because he suggested it. So we'll drop it off to him tomorrow, and I think he will very much love it. Okay, guys, so I hope you're loving my videos. If you do, please consider subscribing, hitting the little bell button so you never miss a video that I do. Consider voting for me on The Greatest Baker. You have to have a Facebook account, but I'll have the link down below. And if you're liking my videos, please give me a big fat thumbs up if you're liking the videos. Okay, guys, thank you. See you next week.